It's easy to believe that your life is over when you're sleeping on cold concrete. The world seems to forget you exist, and the quiet loneliness becomes a deafening roar. 7 years of my life vanished into that silence, a blur of discarded newspapers and the bitter taste of regret. My name was Mark, and at 45, I was an architect without a home, a father who had nothing to give, and a ghost haunting the city streets. My downfall wasn't a sudden crash. It was a slow, agonizing erosion. After my wife passed away, I couldn't face the silence of our home. I buried myself in work, pushing my daughter Sarah away as I built my career. The architectural firm I founded became my sanctuary, but the grief always found a way to catch up. I started drinking, missing deadlines, and alienating my partners, until the day they handed me a box of my belongings. I lost the firm, the house, and eventually the last shred of my self-respect. Sarah, barely 18, stopped calling. Her voice was replaced by the shame I saw in her eyes. I knew I had failed her, and that failure was a heavy chain dragging me into the gutters. The streets were an education in survival, a constant reminder of how far I had fallen. My architectural designs were replaced by cardboard signs, my blueprints by the desperate hope for a few spare coins. Every day was a fight against the cold, the hunger, and the invisible judgment of strangers. I learned to make myself small, to disappear into the background, believing that I deserved every single bit of my suffering. My only possession of any value was a tattered old photograph of Sarah and me taken years before the grief took over. I'd look at that picture every night, tracing her smile, remembering the man I used to be. It was the only thing that kept me from giving up entirely, a small flicker of light in the overwhelming darkness. Then came the coldest winter in decades. The shelters were overflowing and the streets felt like a tomb. I was huddled under a bridge, shivering uncontrollably, convinced this was the end of my story. That's when the old flip phone I kept in my pocket, a relic from a different life, began to buzz. The screen flashed with an unknown number, and my hand trembled as I answered the phone, my voice a broken whisper. "Hello?" I croaked, my throat raw with cold and despair. On the other end, a voice I barely recognized spoke. "Dad? It's Sarah." My heart stopped. She had found me. For a moment, all the shame, all the years of silence and neglect rushed back. I wanted to hang up, to spare her the sight of the broken man I had become, but her voice was unwavering. "The firm you started, the one you lost, I bought it back. It's waiting for you." She had spent every penny of her inheritance, every cent she saved from her small nursing salary to rebuild my life. She didn't just give me a building, she gave me a second chance. She gave me her forgiveness. That phone call wasn't just a moment of redemption. It was a resurrection. I walked into that office, the same office I had been so unceremoniously kicked out of years before. And Sarah was there, waiting. She had grown into a brilliant, kind woman, but she still had the same warm eyes I remembered. I couldn't say anything, just stood there, holding her hand, and for the first time in 7 years, I felt a single, solitary tear of hope roll down my cheek. I had lost everything, but in my lowest moment, my daughter reminded me of the one thing that truly mattered, the unwavering power of love, forgiveness, and the second chance that we all deserve. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones who have the courage to forgive those who were too lost to ask for it.